Hey, good evening, everybody. I hope why does it sound so silent? I hope my mic's working. Mary Ann Bimler, good evening. And Rebecca Touched by Yarn is in here, and Adventures in Gardening. Good evening. Heather Landstrom, how you doing? There's Tony of Our Cabin in the Woods and Treasure Hunter. That's Neil. And we got Linda Peterson. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope all is going well. So we've started picking our grapes today. There's not much there. Took them quite a while to get one load, and they're only taking one load at the plant a day. But that's okay. I don't think there's going to be that many days. That's what happens when you get a frost in the beginning of the spring. Old Man King Homestead is in here, and so is Evelyn Newman. Annabur, he's here, and so is the Dad Cave. How you doing? Nice to see you in here. There's Lori's Prepping for Heaven, and Amy from Leonard Mountain Homestead. We got DJ Turneroo and Hiking with Jackie Boy. There's Joe Jacobson too. And Danimal's Creations. And there's no judgment here with Tish Ross. One of my favorites. I got a lot of favorites. Hey, there's Bailey Woodworks. He does some really cool stuff. I really enjoy watching him do the tops. You know, like when you were a kid, the little tip tops. He spins those out on the lathe. He'll do anywhere from 2 to 4 in a live. He did something else tonight. He was making some kind of a tray with a lid and a finial on the top. I forgot what he said he was going to use it for, or what he thought it could be used for. Probably pancakes. Pancakes? There's Evelyn Newman and Good Enough Homestead. Thank you all for coming in. Yeah, but he does those tops, and it's really cool because he spins it, colors it, and clear coats it within, I would say, 15 minutes or less. So that's why you can do several at a time. And I like it. I like it a lot. There's Leanne Gunther. So how have you been doing, Jackie Boy, with walking around with your knee? I hope it's at pretty close to 100% at this point. I know you're loving life. You're going to get engaged. Your knee's doing well. You got your Jackie Boy. And you're going to be retiring in the matter of weeks. Gillum Farms Outdoors and More. If you haven't subscribed to Gillum's second channel, where he does all he wants to keep his he'll have to come in here and tell how he wants to divide that up. I believe he's going to still keep the cows and the homestead stuff on the Gillum Farms, and then he's going to do the other stuff like drag racing and auctions and stuff on the outdoor channel. I could be wrong. I could be backwards on that. Tops are great for live streams to get engagement from. Yeah, I see that. You get an instant gratification out of that. or the viewer does, and I'm sure you do too. So, and your lives can be, they kind of feel like a content video as well. So people watch that even in the replays. But go check him out. That is Bailey Woodworks. Let's see, do we have anybody else new in here? And Tish and Pooch, Pretty and Pooch, they were not on tonight. They had, I don't know why. I don't think I got an explanation as to why, but I'm sure they had a good reason for it. And they had Leonard Mountain Homestead in their place, asked them to cover. So that's awesome. Dexter is doing even better than he did last week. So he's starting to want to play and run and stuff that he was being very timid about. So he's opening up. Every week I come on here, I can say he's upped his game just a little bit more. So I think he's still got a long ways to go. I think judging from some videos I saw of him before, he was actually quite the roughhouser. So I'm looking forward to him opening up on that. He was a little bit. I was kind of roughhousing with him a little bit last night, and he was kind of wanting to, but he's like, I'm not ready to give in on that yet. So Gillum, Johnny Gillum, do you have videos? I have not gone back over to look at your new channel. Do you have anything on there yet? Fully cleaning out my shop where I can actually work in it. So I might be doing some stuff soon coming up on your panel. That would be cool. That'd be cool. I always enjoy somebody who's making something. I actually like a lot of different types of stories. When I watch YouTube, I watch a lot of different stuff. It's a jack of all trades mentality. I watch surgery. I mean, I could almost be a doctor. No. But I didn't want to tell Mike and Terry that I did see that hip surgery, and that does not look fun. So, but I wasn't going to say anything before it happened. Looks like they take your whole side off. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of us watch a lot of different things that don't really necessarily pertain to homesteading and what we do in our own personal lives. I mean, we do those things every single day. So we go in and we want to see some stuff that's in different genres. Johnny, why don't you come tell us about your new channel? Let's see. We got anybody new in here? Good Enough Homestead. I need to go check that channel out. And what's is the Dad Cave still in here? What's he up to? I haven't seen any videos pop up on my notifications lately. Maybe he's on a hiatus like I am. Although I'm ready to break out of that hiatus. I'm getting itchy to do some stuff. I just am. I'm not going to promise anything, and I'm not going to apologize or anything. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do it. Ace is in here. Good evening. Arlene. Good evening, Arlene. Hope you're having a good evening. Let's see. There he is. You would think he would come up with using his new channel.
Hey.
Why didn't you come up using your new channel?
It's all I've got it running over here on my phone. So
have you put anything on it? I meant to check and I haven't.
Yeah, I put a full length video on it today, and I've got 3 shorts on it. And so what it is the channel it's everything that's not basically the homesteading stuff. It's going to be like, yeah, this hat's a little bigger than the other one. This is the new one, Dan. So anyway,
I thought it looked weird.
Huh?
I thought it looked weird, or not
weird.
Yeah,
it's being different and all that stuff. So
it looked different.
Yeah.
Something was off about it.
Yeah. So, but what it is I'm going to keep the cattle, and the auctions and things like that are going to be on Gillum Farms. The pigs and the chickens and, anything that we grow and stuff like that, our properties. And the other channel is going to be the drag racing, the hunting, the fishing, the camping, the things that you would consider adventurous and things like that. That's what the Gillum Farms Outdoors and More channel is going to be. So, and it's just, thank you, Heather. And hi, Leanne. Thank you, Linda. And that's what it is. It's going to be, it's an experiment, because I know what videos get good traction on Gillum Farms and what ones don't. And I think that maybe I can redo this deal some and actually get it back on track.
That's because YouTube wants to push your channel to people who like those specific things. And when you go off track, they won't push those as
right
much.
Yeah, it gets confused. I think it gets confused.
I mean, I wish my house remodeling would have been been pushed out like my maker's videos, but it didn't.
Well, Joe, if I take the cattle off of it, they're basically what's Gillum Farms. If I take the cattle, the racing, all that stuff, what is it? It's nothing. I mean, there's no
drone shots of traffic and watching the back of your truck go down the road.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Some drone video and some watching my pickup, watch the back of the cab of my truck going down the road. But anyway, so I come slap melons with the guy and he can't say hi back. Who's that? Is Josh in here?
Troy Sutton's in here.
So but I'm going to speaking of watermelons, we got a lot of watermelons out here, guys, and they were all volunteer. We did not plant any watermelons, and I bet we've got 100. I bet we've got 100 watermelons out here.
What did you do? Throw Josh's watermelon seeds on the compost pile?
I don't know what happened. It's kind of like the okra. I mean, we didn't plant. There's certain places out here we got okra that we didn't plant any okra, and it's just kind of popping up. I mean, it came from our garden. I know it came from our garden. I mean, Christine, she probably cut some off and tossed one somewhere, and Anyway, no, they weren't spitting watermelons. See, we had the chickens and stuff like that. A lot of them ate the watermelons on the spot. So that's probably what happened. But hi, Tish.
Rebel at Heart is in here. Kelly.
Yes, Linda. Probably about 100 watermelons. I mean, it was. I'm telling you, watermelons are the easiest things to grow in the world.
Unless you're in the north.
Yeah, I mean they just come up on their own and just.
I wish.
Yeah,
I would just plant my
Scott
lawn with watermelon and get it over with.
Well, that would be a mess. Have you looked at watermelon vines? They're just.
I know what they're like. I mean, we've tried growing them. We haven't really been all that successful. There was one time we grew those small ones. They were pretty good. I'd go out there and smash them right out in the field and start chowing on them.
Yeah, we haven't. And the heck of it is we haven't eaten any of these. We fed a bunch of them to the pigs until the pigs went to had their appointment, let's just say. And speaking of that, I picked the pigs up Friday.
Good evening, James Hall.
So I picked them up Friday, and so the chickens I'm trying to let the chickens eat the watermelons, but when you got that many watermelons and you only got a few chickens, it takes them a while. It does save us on a feed bill, though. Helpful.
Josh's plan to come up here must have fallen through.
To come up?
He said he was. I mean, I wasn't holding him to it or anything. Just he didn't get to make it yet. Yeah. Rambling with the Brahms is in here. Good evening.
Yeah, they do sprawl everywhere, Lori. They are sprawled all out here. So I got a question for the folks in the chat, if you don't mind, Brian, real quick.
No, go ahead.
Tomorrow night they're doing that September thing at 5:00. Or if you know anything about that, there's Mennonite Farmhouse, and then Jesse and Lisa are co-streaming and stuff like that. So we have an opportunity to either go live at 5 or at 8. We could possibly even go live at 5 and 8. So what do you guys think? Just let me know what you would think, because I know there's some people that can't watch us at 5 because it's too early. So anyway, and I'm not taking away from anybody by going at 8, because that's part of our Homestead Hangout deal, and our Homestead Hangout compadre, they won't be able to go at 8:00 tomorrow night. So that's why I was asking.
Well, you could.
You said go at 8. Heather says go at 5. Lori said, yeah, it's 5 Central. Lori, surely you know when we go live every Thursday night, right?
6:00.
Bowen says 8.
You go live at 6:00.
Well, yeah, for you I do. Over here it's 5:00. People are just getting off work type of deal.
I'm just getting off work most of the time. 8
is better for Evelyn. 8. Everybody's saying 8.
So go at both times.
And see, like I said, I'm wondering if I should just go live at 5 for just a few minutes and say, hey guys, we're going to go at 8. So come back at 8:00. Thought about doing that too. That way we're not kind of all burnt out by,
burned up.
Yeah, go at 5, Johnny. Keep it that way.
Hugo Homestead is in here.
Heather says 5 again. So 5 is 4 for Evelyn. That's right. I understand that, Evelyn. I understand that.
She doesn't seem like she should be that far away.
Right. She's over in that pretty country. We're over here in this country that hasn't seen rain, and I think we're right around 2 months now.
Thunderstick Homestead's in here.
Lori, 8. Yeah, that's right. It is 9 acres time slot, but they're not going live tomorrow night. So there you go. That's the reason why I asked about that. And I have already talked to Dale, and it is cool with him. So just saying.
Fall veggies.
Oh, yep. Right. Yeah, there's a lot of people that plant that fall stuff.
You guys have a second growing season. I'm glad we don't have a second. I like the winter to do the things I can't do in the summer.
Yeah. So yeah. So are we doing cahoots? No, we're not doing cahoots. That's Dale's deal. We're not going to take over his cahoots deal. That's hers. So no cahoots. No cahoots. I'm not a big game guy. If you notice, I've never been in the cahoots thing. Sometimes if he does one about cars or something, I'll sit out there and I'll say blue, red, Chevelle, whatever. But I'm not a big game player.
That's just the risk you take being a farmer, Evelyn. Sometimes you get frosted out. It happens.
Oh yeah, we get that all the time. We have a orchard over where the cattle are, and almost every year, the orchard gets frosted out. Danimal, yeah, I'm having fun. Baby. So, but anyway, and Heather says she understands what I was talking about now.
Damn, well, you got to get your stuff going so you can have some fun.
Yeah. Linda, no, we don't have any donkeys. We have no donkeys. We have 0 donkeys. Those are the neighbors' donkeys. So I was trying to get Danny out of there. So, and I had to move their donkeys to do it. So anyway.
They always show the good donkeys on videos on YouTube. You always see those happy donkeys. Are they always happy, or are some of them real jerks?
They're kind of neat. I'm trying to figure out the use for them. I really am. I look at them and I see them. I gotta qualify this. Those donkeys are my brothers. Okay, so they're my brother's donkeys. But I look at them and I try to figure out what the use of them is. And I've even actually asked him that question. What is the use? Well, we sell them. Okay. You sell them. Okay. What do those folks use it for? Is there a use, or is it just something that eats?
Animal petting zoos?
Is that, maybe that's what it is. Maybe they pet it.
That, or, well, children will ride them.
They can't ride them.
You can't ride it. What do you mean you can't ride a donkey? That's what
these things
ride up in the canyons and stuff with.
These things are too little. What would these guard? These would guard squirrels or something. I don't know. They're not
well, maybe they're kind of like pet dogs. You just feed them and pet them, and
I think that's what all they do. Well, I know these donkeys aren't guard animals at all. And the big ones, I've seen them guard, but not these won't guard anything. I'm telling you, they're, as far as I can tell, they do nothing but eat.
I saw the video that said that people.
They're giving up guns. Really?
And getting donkeys, huh?
I don't think that's going to be part of my plan. I'm going to give up my pew pews and
Your arsenal of donkeys.
yeah, get, get a donkey.
Stampede. Donkeys are coming.
Small donkeys are good for small kids' rides. Yeah, yeah. The problem with that though, Joe, is we live in a litigation society. So unless it's like your kids, which they don't have any, you put anybody else's kid on one of them things and something happens, no matter what they tell you before and no matter what they sign before it happens, you're still liable. I mean, you're liable, and there you go.
That's why you'd be hard pressed to find anybody who does anything like that.
I mean,
Although the neighbors we have over here are setting their they're not donkeys, they're prairie ponies.
Joe,
for emotional support.
Yeah, these little donkeys, if I sat on one of them, both my feet would still be flat on the ground.
And the poor donkey. Poor donkey.
So
you might be on your butt too because the donkey gave out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I know they're stout little animals and stuff like that, but my goodness. Troy Sutton says donkey basketball. We used to go watch donkey basketball whenever I was younger too. It was a lot of fun. And they used it wasn't like these donkeys. These are too small for that. These are those little miniatures, but you know, the donkeys in general are pretty small anyway, but
maybe they could be emotional support animals.
Well, I'm sure they could, but you're probably not going to see one in Walmart anytime soon, or you might. I don't know.
I'm doing well, Heather. I hope you are too. Thanks for asking.
So, hey, Josh, come on up and say howdy.
Howdy. And he'd say it just like that too.
Howdy, y'all. Yep, I could hear him.
While he's slapping watermelons.
Good night, Tish.
There's Tim Mason.
Yep, Tim's in here.
And he's doing well. Glad to hear that.
Tim, Danny was in there with those little miniature donkeys for about 2 days, I think, when I found him. And they seemed pretty terrified of him. So
like, what the heck?
They didn't want to be around him. And
that's a big donkey. What big horns you have.
But yeah.
Tish is going to bed. Good night, Tish.
Yeah, we'll see you at Pinecone Fest.
Yeah, cool.
And there is Jonesy. Hey, Jonesy.
Good evening, Jonesy. Island life in Tasmania.
Good evening. They got to pet Toby. They got to pet Jesse and Lisa's little dog.
I got two when I was there.
Yeah.
I almost took him.
I bet we get to pet Toby like next week. I bet you. We'll be headed for Pinecone Fest on Thursday. So we'll be getting down there Thursday evening, probably 3 or 4, I imagine.
Hopefully everybody will get to meet Dexter next year.
Right? That's going to be awesome. So is Dexter like I'm picturing Dexter kind of sleeping a lot.
He does because like I've been saying, he's coming out of the shell, and more and more so on every week he comes out a little bit more. But yeah, I think he's just kind of keeping to himself a lot. That's all.
Well, good.
That happens with dogs when they go through what he's gone through. They're very untrusting, and you have to build the trust with them so they feel comfortable. He's probably still thinking about his last family that abandoned him.
Oh my goodness. Doggy trauma.
Yeah. Well, I've been watching videos on it, and yeah, they say anywhere for probably about 3 months. I've had him for a month on the first. There's a chart. They say 3 days, 3 weeks, and 3 months. And when you get to the third month part, the dog is supposedly at his full comfortability.
James, it's not. James is asking if it's a whisker biscuit on the bow. It's not. It's a rest that is made similar, but it's not. That's not what it's called. It's actually got no bristles where the fletching rolls through it. So I'm not having to blow through the bristles like you do with a whisker biscuit. And Heather, it would be awesome to meet you someday. I'm hoping that you can come to one of the meetups sometime.
Yeah, it'll have to happen eventually because you want to do it too bad. So you'll make it happen.
Whisker, we're talking about that whisker biscuit thing. And Bowen's saying they haven't sold a whisker biscuit in years. They actually work pretty good. It's just if you shoot a lot, your point of impact is going to change because they're wearing the bristles down and stuff like that. So, yeah, and but that's and I have had whisker biscuits before. I mean, I've had them and the reason being is because you can throw your arrow on there and you can flip your bow upside down. You can do all these different things with it, and that arrow is not falling out. And that whenever you're hunting and running and doing different things like pig hunting and stuff like that, it's actually not a bad deal. But I kind of like the other one, the one I got now. It seems to be pretty good, and it's not wearing like the biscuit does. Good enough, Homestead. I have to head out and hit the hay. Good night.
Chris is probably in there. Chris and I were going to go hiking on Friday, but then yesterday the picker and the machinery showed up for the grapes. So
yeah,
I said, I guess it's not going to happen this week. So definitely next week. Next week is going to be like 65 and 68 degrees, beautiful weather, and I won't have the grapes hanging over my head at all. So that's one of these days next week for sure. I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
So if you're in here, Chris, say hey at least.
Hey, Chris.
Reveal yourself.
Thank you, James. I appreciate it. What's the closest big town close to you, Brian? What's the closest big town close to you? Josh wants to know.
Big town?
Yeah.
Well, you got Erie, Pennsylvania, and Buffalo, New York, and we're in the middle of that. We're right in between both of those. There's Jamestown. Everything's an hour from us. We're like just small towns through here. I went to Fredonia High School.
And there they are. Hey, adventure awaits.
Then, of course, Niagara Falls is up there next to Buffalo.
Wow. So, Josh, are you going to be in New York?
Where did you see that?
Do what?
That was up there a wise, wasn't it?
What?
Whatever Josh said.
He said, "What's the closest big town to?"
Oh, okay. I see
He
it.
said it 1 minute ago.
I see it. I'm working on getting a trip planned to go.
Hi, Kelly.
No rush. It doesn't matter. You can do it anytime.
Neil says they're 11 miles from any city or town. We're at least that.
There's Chris. Hey, everyone. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I look forward to that. That's going to be fun. And I don't think I'm going to take Dexter the first time just because I want to be able to feel out the situation. And I think it might be, I don't know. I just don't know. The first time we go, I probably won't take Dexter. The next time I definitely will try. See how it does.
So what he's doing is he's looking to see what area he needs to go to. So he'll take a load, like he'll look for a load that's going that way so he can make it by your place.
Yeah.
Might catch him right there at what, Harvest?
Harvest is now.
Yeah.
It's right now. But you know what? It is going to be a boring harvest. It is a boring harvest. It's like, I don't know. Let's put this one in the books and move on.
Yeah, I was wondering that as well, Tony, if he's going to make it to Pinecone Fest this year. Before the last day, like before we pull out, like, hey, Josh Sherman's coming, he's coming, he's going to be here, and, like Sunday afternoon, he comes rolling in,
Sunday afternoon. Well, at least he made it.
Well, that's the way it was at the Okie Homesteading Expo. What time did you get there, Josh? 4 on the last day? I'm trying to get there next week.
To Pinecone Fest or to up here?
I hoped.
No, it's not going to. And he's not coming up here if he's going to Pinecone.
Well, I don't know. He said, I hoped to be there, Tony.
Not hope.
Yeah, hoped.
Yeah, that changes.
Somebody hoped.
That changes the whole
probably not going to do it. Yeah, it could have been 4:30. That's right, Josh. So he's thinking to get up to where you are. So maybe you guys can have your own Pinecone Fest. Take a pine cone with you whenever you go, Josh.
Yeah, we have little tiny pine cones.
He's hoping. He's hoping to go. He's hoping to go. Okay. He's hoping to make it there.
I misread it right.
You misread it right. Yeah.
I misread it right.
So Tony, he met me at him and the Leonards. They met me at the drag strip last weekend. So we got to run the GTO a little bit last weekend. We had a grudge race that it was really cool because that grudge race was, I guess, I've been racing that guy for over 30 years. He quit for a long time. He came back and we got to race again. It was awesome. So I'm also trying to get a load to New York for Monday. Then I'll be back for Pinecone Fest. So he's trying to get a load to go up to New York Monday.
Well, I might be able to show you somebody picking grapes up here. It won't be our farm.
We do too, Neil. We have pine cones all over.
When you drive up the thruway, you'll see all kinds of grape pickers out there because that's what it is along the thruway. is vineyard after vineyard after vineyard. Once you hit like just past Cleveland, just east of Cleveland, I think, from Cleveland up to the Niagara County, that's the belt for Concords.
Tony's going to flip a coin to see if Josh is going to be at Pinecone. Yeah.
Are all your pine cones those big ones? I mean, I remember those from when we lived in California. They were huge. You would go to a park and there would be like these huge pine cones.
Well, you were here. You've seen the pine cones here. So I mean, they were all around out there down there at the meetup and stuff. I mean, so you saw what we have. They're
I honestly don't remember.
They're about that long, and you know.
Oh, skinny. Yeah, those are the same boring ones we got up here. But Texas probably has the big ones, much like California does.
Well, not where Pinecone Fest is.
No.
So, yeah.
Never mind then.
So,
our little. Yeah, we even had a little tiny ones. Oh, like, what's that?
They get the
That
job.
was disappointing. Moving from California, and you had the big pine cones.
Not if you're mowing. I don't think they're disappointed.
Wow. We lived different. You realize in California, we lived in we had less than a half an acre that our house was put on with a pool in the backyard.
So Lori says those are spruce cones from spruce trees.
So we didn't have a yard big enough to have too many pine cones. Plus, we didn't have any pine cone trees in our yards.
Yeah, we don't have any spruce trees here. I have tried many times to grow spruce trees here. It won't happen. There's something about 107, 108 degree temps and 2 months without rain that just spruce trees hate. Pine cones everywhere here, all sizes.
Well,
we pretty much got one size. I mean, well, we got two different kinds of pine trees here. We've got loblollies that I planted, and I planted a lot of them. I planted thousands of them.
Well, she probably lives closer to California than you guys do. So
yeah,
you get those California-sized ones.
And then we have the native shortleaf pine here. So, but I planted a lot of pine trees. I tried to grow pawpaw trees. It didn't work out. Neil tried to grow some pawpaws.
I think I'm going to try watermelon next year.
I'll tell you what, all you have to do is throw a seed out there, throw some seeds out there on the ground.
North. Not in the north.
Yeah, spruce trees are so beautiful. I mean, Christine, we'd be up in South Dakota, and I just love the spruce trees in people's yard. And we tried to plant them here. And I got one to live. It's crazy. It lived. I was able to get to it with a water hose, so it lived about 3 years. And I thought, wow. And I mean, it actually got up to about 6 feet tall. Then it just died. I mean, just even though I was watering it and everything else, it just could not handle it. West Texas.
Oh, she's why was I thinking she was in Arizona?
New Mexico,
New Mexico.
Yeah. Yep, New Mexico.
Not for nothing, Homestead's in here. Good evening. And thanks
Hey,
for calling.
Ginger. And Ginger's got a video coming out tomorrow, I think. So, something about a crock pot in October, something like that. Kind of like Croctober, maybe. Heard anything like that?
Now I have 4 videos I have started.
You got 4 started videos.
Yeah, full. They will end up being complete content videos too.
Danimal, I got to stop 1 second here. Danimal, I keep seeing you post you want people to fix you up and all this and that and the other. I don't even want to ask, but somehow there was somebody that won some them boards and
Oh, I don't even want to know.
cornhole boards.
I don't even want to know. It's not going to be good.
That you have.
Unless
That
she
maybe or is there joint custody of those cornhole boards? You got one of them and the other one went somewhere else. No, it's not the first time you've asked anything, Dan. I saw it the other night too. You were asking somebody if they had any single friends. So I do pay attention a little bit.
I don't know. I really enjoy being single.
Oh, she took the boards. You posted it here earlier on here?
I didn't want to know that, Johnny. Why did you ask?
Yeah. Well,
So-
maybe they'll get used now.
I'm not doing it again, I'm telling you. Because the first ones kind of went away too.
It would have been cool if somebody, that goes every year and stuff like that could have won them and brought them back. Kind of look, we could see them every year and stuff like that.
Yeah, well. But the positive thing is I enjoyed making them and I made it for the video, and the video will live on.
Yeah, it will.
And it's doing well. Well enough. I imagine it will keep growing because it gets watched kind of regularly.
Right. Videos like that, like working on a car or something like that. I've got one where I changed the center carrier bearing on my truck, and it just continuously just gets views. I mean, people are always going to need to change it.
Specifically looking for that.
Yeah, they're
That's
always.
why I did trainer cornhole boards, because they aren't as common, but people do specifically look up that search.
Tony says if you make him a set, he'll bring them back every single year.
I'm not doing it. I don't know how many people I said, don't let me do this next year.
Yeah. Lori says making stuff gets lots of views. That's true. It may not get a lot of views in a short period of time, but over years, it'll get a lot of views.
They're called evergreen videos. In other words, they just keep living.
Yeah.
Because there's no timestamp on them. It's a specific search. And as long as people are making cornhole boards, they will be watching it.
Right. As long as you need a center carrier bearing in your 2004 Dodge Ram pickup, people are going to search for it.
That's right. Until they ban them.
Until it's all electric, guys. All electric. It's all you can get. And then people will really be searching it because they'll be burning cooking oil and everything else.
Oh.
Trying to keep a real vehicle.
Everybody be trained. I hope hope everybody's praying really good for this next month, because that's all I'm going to say about it. You know what I'm talking about. Because if it doesn't happen the way 99.9% of you guys want it to work out, we're done. You can forget it.
So, I know I am. Oh, Josh.
Probably praying.
I'll never have an electric car. That's right, Lori. Not happening. No electric car here. I will fix. I've got, and that's the wonderful thing about what we've got going on. I was looking around. I've got so much junk that I can fix, and I've got the stuff in my garages to do it, that we can drive stuff for the rest of our lives that isn't electric somehow.
Johnny will operate a pedal car before he gets there.
I will. I mean, if you're going to have an electric car, go all out, put it on solar. That's the only way using grid electric, that ain't the way. You need that. You need solar electric. I'm not even going to say windmill electric, because not many people put a big one that it'd take to run that on their place, Yeah, what is going over it? And that's the thing right there, James. People don't understand that in a perfect world where everyone lives in a city, okay, and there's no weird temperatures, there's just the sun rises in the morning and sets in the evening and rains every 3 days, for a little bit. Yes, you could probably get by with an electric car, but for literally 90+% of the population, you can't do it. It just doesn't. It's not going to work.
I wouldn't want to take an electric car to Mid-America Meetup.
I'm trying to remember. I think it was Megan and them that tried to rent an electric car one time. If Ginger's in here, she can tell us. But they spent. Ginger, are you in here? Can you tell us how long it took them to get that little? I vaguely remember, but it was like hours and hours and hours to go, like, for a short trip. Yes, that's what she said. Yes.
Yes.
How many hours did it take to go how many miles, Ginger?
Peterson Farms of Nashville is in here.
Howdy, Peterson Farms of Nashville.
Excuse me. Thank you for coming in.
So I'm just waiting to see if she'll tell us how many hours it took to go how many miles. It was ridiculous.
Well, it only would have taken her an hour, but stop for 2 hours to charge it.
My buddy has a record service, and he will not ever hook up to an electric car, ever. There's too many ways for them to catch on fire, and he doesn't want to be on his record whenever it happens. Okay. Here she goes. They had to stop every 2 hours to charge, and the MapQuest loaded in the car took them the route that had charging stations, no matter how far out of the way it was. So how far did they go, and how many hours did it take them?
Sounds like a math question.
Yeah.
Math problem.
Wood gasifiers can run cars or generators. Hydrogen's an option, guys. Hydrogen is an option.
So is a pedal car.
Well, 16 hours for a 10-hour trip.
Ouch.
Took them 16 hours. I tell you what, they cut into your budget, wouldn't it, Josh Sherman?
Oh wow.
Yeah, they
They
cost
want semis to do that. Could you imagine? Could you imagine our grid if everybody? Well, that would be impossible.
No, there's no way. There's no way.
That'd be impossible. We can't even run our air conditioners in the summertime.
That's right. We see an electric. I might see one electric car a trip to like town and back. I might see one electric car, and that's just not really popular in our area.
I tried doing the old car thing, and it just ended up being too much of a pain in the ass. That's another video I could have done, but I taped that probably 2 years ago. But it does show a facet of what I'm capable of doing, and also decided not to do anymore.
Peterson Farms in Nashville talking about we build hybrids at our plant and regular gas. And I saw a video of somebody that took a alternator and built a pulley that bolted to the outside of their wheel on the outside on a rear wheel, and it ran back to an alternator that was hanging off the side of their car. So it was charging the battery of this hybrid car while they were driving it, I guess on gas. And a Cybertruck passed you a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, I saw. Did you see Whistling Diesel's video about his Cybertruck?
I saw that same video clip. Was it a video or just a picture? It was a picture, right?
It might have been a picture.
It was a white car with it right behind the rear wheel.
Yeah, they had a little alternator mounted
Not
up.
where the muffler would be, or the muffler tailpipe would be.
And see, the one thing about electric cars that I always thought would be, that they should build is those wheels are always turning. You know what I mean?
That's what I always thought.
So why don't they hook something to that rotating mass that generates power and puts it back into the battery while it's driving? Why don't they do that? I mean, brake systems charge the hybrid batteries. So you got to put on the brakes to get it to charge.
So you ride.
You ride the
brakes all the way down to Oklahoma.
You just hope people are stupid. Lord, yeah, Lori, people are stupid. That's the thing. Me and Christine talk about this all the time. A person can be smart, but people are stupid.
That would be a real job on your tires and your brakes.
Reverse movements. So you got to be in reverse on the brakes?
Oh, now I'm driving in reverse on my brakes all the way down to Oklahoma. You got that?
That's right, Josh. Josh said it perfectly right there. Nobody can make money off you if it makes its own power. So there's no way they're going to make something that would actually be efficient enough to generate its own power. I guarantee it can be done. I guarantee it can be done. I have thought about this a lot. So
that would put Dexter right into an anxiety coma. He'd get there, be in total shock.
It's 10:01.
Yeah. All right, people. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming into the chat and my moderators. You protect my channel, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Johnny, for coming up on panel and joining me. And we will see you next week, Wednesday, 9:00 Central. Bye for now.
Bye, everybody.